Businesses on the brink. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. I want to have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance discussing businesses that are still struggling. And of course, it's in the cafe sector. We've seen this before. We looked at examples where people were pretty much giving away businesses, giving away fit-outs just to get out of the leases. Now, running a restaurant or a cafe is hard in normal times, let alone when you have the risk of these government lockdowns. Now, fortunately, they seem to have, passed. But, remember when you'd have a snap lockdown and then you've got to throw out all the food that you've bought. It's a tough game. It really is a tough game. I remember we had a client, we designed a restaurant for him down in Melbourne. It's a really nice restaurant. Frankie says, go check it out if you're in Melbourne. And he was saying that, a restaurant goes down nearly every week in Melbourne. So many of them flip. I think he ended up making more money from events. They've got portable kitchens and they cook this really nice food, like Vietnamese food. And that was more profitable than running a cafe. What do you reckon? So let's have a look at this article, written by Ash Kant. For many, things are slowly returning to normal. But for some small Australian businesses and hospitality venues, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are still lingering. Well, okay, in many places, this is due to government interventions. You've got the government forcing vaccine checks. Not that it's ever happened to me, but for some venues, if you're not vaccinated here in Queensland, you can't go to, like a cafe. Now, I'm surprised that business councils aren't really chucking more of a stink about this, because there'll be some people that are perfectly vaccinated, have all their papers, but don't want to, won't go there when their friends can't. They'll go do something else. It's probably a lot healthier for us all. Go to, a park and cook a picnic, get some steak on the barbie, but still. So that's the thing. They need to get angry at their states that are limiting this. When will this end? Probably after the election. That's what Rachel thinks. She thinks it'll all end miraculously after the election when we have Labor get in at a federal level. What do you reckon? Do you think she's on the money? Let me know in the comments. Maybe my wife is getting too paranoid too. That's probably why she puts up with me. Zoran Yai English is a single mother of 2 boys and is very passionate about her cafe, Heal Thyself, in Yarraville, Melbourne. Miss English told Yahoo News that the business had evolved alongside her for 6 years, and it channels her passion for breaking the stigma around vegan food. Well, there's a disturbed stigma for vegan food, everyone. I don't know. I remember I worked with one girl who was a vegan, and I had to eat this vegan chocolate cake, and it's just crap, honestly. The only way to make it taste any good is you fill it full of seed oils, and you don't want to eat those. They're unhealthy. Anyway, but still, every business has the right to compete. It's sort of my little way that I felt I'm changing the world through, for the better. Well, probably by creating employment. I'm sure you are. However, with the city subject to multiple lockdowns and the surge of Omicron cases over Christmas, Miss English is struggling to get back on her feet. People, I wonder if habits have changed. That's a poll I'll put up on the channel, actually. Have your habits changed over the last couple of years? Are you still going out as much? Are you still spending as much money? And remember, inflation is starting to climb up. Groceries are getting more expensive. Petrol, over $2. Now, I'm seeing that way too often, over $2. We have to get used to $2 petrol. It's going to be like my kids, when they're at my age, will tell their kids, I remember when petrol was just $2. Remember when it was 40 cents, everyone? Show my age. My cafe is on its knees, and I honestly don't know if I'll be able to get it back up, she wrote in a passionate Facebook post on Thursday. She said the past 3 months have been extremely difficult for a cafe, with price increases, supply issues, delivery delays, and having to cut back on staff, which Miss English considers to be like family. That's In a small business, it's a little different. I mean, you want to look out for your staff, but you've got to survive. That was the the frustrating thing. A lot of people don't know, as a small business owner, you pay your staff before you'll pay your own mortgage or your own grocery bills. Some days there are so few customers, it's not even viable to stay open until 2 p.m. Very soon, this situation will be unsustainable, she said. It probably already is. She hasn't realized that. Speaking to Yahoo News Australia, Miss English said remained open for the first 4 COVID lockdowns, doing takeaway only. The government support was fantastic, she added. However, for the final 2 lockdowns, she closed her business, prioritizing her mental health. She said the impassionate Facebook post was her last-ditch effort to communicate to the community how dire it was for her and other businesses. Yeah, here's the thing. You're going to have a lot of people who've not been affected by these lockdowns. You've got everyone in the construction industry, if anything, busier than otherwise. You've got all the civil servants. They're not even a part of the real world. I remember that working. I did a stint for the Architectural Practice Academy here in Queensland under the Department of Public Works. It was a different world. I'd never worked for government before. And I remember we were our own little business unit. I went over to the department. We had a whole day paid, where they would pay you just to hear about all the perks you were getting for working there. You'd already gotten the job. They were still paying you to hear about the union perks. They got like train tickets they could buy in pre-tax dollars. All this bullshit. It's a different world. And they're still getting pay rises. So they're completely removed from reality. So I don't blame Newman for thinning the herd. That was a good thing. A lot of people don't realize how much it's a different world, guys. It really is. And the problem is these people make decisions like this that influence hardworking, or that impact hardworking small business owners. I mean, there you go. She's got a nice setup. Not a bad photography there. Not enough meat for my liking, but still, each to their own. So it's not just a Yarra Valley problem. It's felt all over the state, she told Yahoo News Australia. Well, that's Dan Andrews that you need to get angry at. On Facebook, Miss English said she owed a lot to the Yarra Valley community. However, there is a chance the cafe may soon close, the reality of which is breaking her soul. Well, that's business sometimes. She said she has 2 young boys who she supports mentally, emotionally, and of course financially, and they'll always be her priority. So changing habits, reason behind suffering, maybe. So she acknowledged she is doing no worse than any other business, but said her community is not what it used to be before COVID hit. While lockdowns are a thing of the past, COVID has changed the way we all act, and the habits we formed in hopes of evading the virus might be the reason behind the cafe's potential demise. Now, this is interesting. So, I'm going to hazard a guess that this lady isn't the same political or ideological position that I would have. I'm taking a very stoic approach to life, and when it comes to COVID, I'm not that worried. But there's some people that are still scared. I mean, do they still have mask mandates in Victoria, guys? Do you still have those? Miss English believed people have become accustomed to staying in their homes and ordering in instead of going out and enjoying a meal. Yeah, I mean, it also could be not just habits. Times are getting tough, everyone. A recession may be on the horizon, depending on what sector you're in. Things are getting more expensive. You've only got how many years until your mortgage repayments are going to significantly increase? Maybe people are tightening their belts. They've just gotten accustomed to staying home, and that probably associated with the money they're saving by doing so as well, and I can't blame them for that, she said, yeah. I mean, you don't appreciate how much money you piss away on going to a vegan cafe. I mean, it's complete luxury. It is a complete luxury. Miss English said she fears Yarraville. I grew up around there. I grew up in Coldstream when I was a kid. We'll see an increase in big chain companies instead of independent businesses, because that's essentially what's going to happen if small businesses and operators aren't there. That's essentially what's going to come in and take our place, she said. Maybe, or they'll probably leave it empty, honestly. Fortunately, on Friday morning, people were lining up to come into Heal Thyself, and Miss English was overwhelmed by support, flowers, and wine from the community. Yesterday, I was crying tears of sadness. Today, tears of absolute happiness and joy. I'm so flooded and overwhelmed with emotion, I can't even put into words, she said. Now is still the time to support small businesses, she implored. She said her friends had set up a GoFundMe to help keep the cafe afloat, but she would rather earn her money by doing what she loves. Just come through the door, she said when asked how people can best support Heal Thyself. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Businesses need business. You don't do it through a charity. GoFundMe you don't need for a business. The business needs to be sustainable, but it may be, this may be a last hurrah before it comes to an end. Just come into the cafe, get a takeaway, get a smoothie, sit down, have a coffee, or get some food. It's that simple. Well, I mean, there you go. Let's have a talk about this one. I'm not shy that I'm not a fan of the vegan diet. I have tried it for a period. We did it for about a 22-day detox when we first came off the standard Australian diet, which I think is really useful. But all the seed oils a lot of people eat in it, I'm not a fan of. And we try and go carnivore, ketovore anyway. But this is still a struggling small business, and this is someone who's put their heart and soul and all of their energy, blood, sweat, and tears into running a business. So good on her for trying to draw attention to that and getting people to realize. But I think, honestly, it's to do with habits. People are used to not going out to eat. They're realizing they can save money. Maybe this house deposit they thought was unattainable now suddenly is. Or maybe they're just doing it tough themselves too. You can't be going out spending money, frittling away cash on stuff when you're barely scraping by because maybe you've lost your job. Or maybe you're not making any money in your business. You're flat out, but nothing more is coming in. We'll have to see. As always, let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this one. There are going to be more and more businesses, particularly in this sector, that will be doing it tough for some time to come. It's going to be a period of flow through for this. The impact of lockdowns and the retail sector will cop it, particularly if we get interest rates going up. They're going to cop it again then too. I think there needs to be some purposeful anger at the establishment's political and bureaucratic that actually affected you. I somehow think this is missing. I suspect a vegan single mother may be the type that supports Dan Andrews and doesn't realize it's his policies that are destroying her business. What do you reckon? Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can help out. Join us on YouTube or Patreon. Sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, or use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Have a great day, everyone. And, well, I mean, I don't go out and buy coffee. I go to 7-Eleven or I drink instant coffee from Aldi, so I'm not really supporting that many small businesses anymore. But again, I've got to save money too. Take care, and I'll see you next time.